Good afternoon. Today I'm going to tell you about granite. At the end of my speech, you should be able to know more about granite as well as how it's used. Right now, let me see a show of hands of how many people actually know about granite and how it's used on a day-to-day basis. Okay, great. It seems like most of you actually know about granite, but there are some of you who may not actually know about it. So after my speech today, I hope that you actually understand it a little bit more and know how it's used day to day. With so many different types of rocks that are out there, um, granite is one of those that is used more often, but most people don't realize how much it's actually used. And granite is used for residential and commercial reasons on a day-to-day basis. Some of you might actually find this topic interesting as if you are planning to use granite or have used granite. Some of you may not find it very interesting if you don't actually have to use it every day, but I do hope that at the end of my speech you will be able to understand it and know more about it and be interested, as in the fact of wanting to use it every day. Today, I will tell you about how granite is created as well as what it consists of. And third, I would like to tell you how it's used on a day-to-day basis. First, I will begin telling you about how it's created. For you guys that do not know, granite is created from an igneous rock. The igneous rock is made from fire and heat from a volcano. Um, in my research, I have found a website named Rocks for Kids, and at that website, it explains an igneous rock as being something that is considered um, a rock that is made from magma from the volcanoes. And when magma is hardened inside the Earth's crust, that's when the granite is created. And then it looks like this. Next, I'm going to tell you about what the granite rock consists of. The granite rock, as you saw in my picture, is a speckled rock that its shape is not, it is uniform, but um, there's no certain shape that that granite rock is made into. There can be many ways that it is shaped as far as depending on how you use it. Obviously, it's going to be a rock, so it's going to come out as a rock, but depending on how you use it is going to depend on the way that it's going to look. That rock, that granite rock, comes in shape or colors, I'm sorry, of blacks and grays and pinks and browns and reds. And in my research, I found a website of a company out of Minnesota. It's called Pacific Granite. And there they told me that the rock comes in many colors, but as well as many shapes. And in doing some research, I found that the rock, as the rock begins to cool, it's melted, and the items that are melted inside that rock begin to crystallize. And those items are known as quartz, feldspar, and mica. And once they start to crystallize, then they form that rock that is then turned into that granite rock. And so when you look at a granite rock, you see so many different colors that, in a way, when they say crystallized, looks a little bit like a marble. And there's so many different um, colors and shapes of the crystallization that forms that rock. Finally, I'm going to tell you how granite is used from day to day. According to geology.com, granite is used in many ways, such as countertops, floor tiles, paving stones, curbs, buildings, and monuments. And we may not know that from day to day, but as you do a little bit of research, you actually see granite. And in looking for it, you'll find it in many of places that you wouldn't necessarily think that that's where it is. And in knowing what the granite looks like will help you understand, where it could possibly be when looking for it. Granite can be used as a base material, such as things that are used for road construction, foundations, It's actually used in the railroad. They use it for railroad ballast. And for you guys who may not actually know what a railroad ballast is, that is what the train track runs across. It's a item that they use every day for those trains to run across, and it stabilizes that train when it runs across that train track. And it can be used as crushed stone that you may use in concrete or asphalt when they're building streets and such. For some of you, you may not know, Mount Rushmore with the presidents in South Dakota, that monument or that sculpture there is actually made of granite. Um, so I've actually got a picture here for you guys to see, and for those that you guys that can see that, that is made out of granite. And for those of you who have never been there, I'm being one of them, would never have thought that it was granite. And so in doing a little bit of research, I found out that it was granite. And I found that very interesting that, as of a big deal of that monument is, us not knowing that, it's very interesting to find out that it is actually granite. In conclusion, while some of you did not realize how often granite is used, it has become a very popular product in the residential and commercial purposes. And now that you know how granite is created and what it consists of and the commercial use of it, I hope that you find this speech very informative, and it has been a pleasure for me to explain to you today what granite is and how it's used, and I hope to speak to all of you again soon. Thanks.